I've actually talked with at least a dozen different people.
Because if you've talked to 12 agents voluntarily, either something's wrong with you, because you like talking to salespeople. Maybe you're just like me. I like talking to salespeople.
Hey, this is Steven.
Uh-oh. Did y'all hear that? Big mistake. What happened? Listen to it again. See if you can tell me what the problem is.
Hey, this is Steven with the...
All right. So what's the problem, you may ask, if you're new around here? Well, it's that this agent asked a question that was inappropriately timed. The worst thing you can do as an agent is ask a question that isn't coinciding with how the script is done. Now, it might even be that this agent is not intentionally asking a question. You may be asking, well, how can you sound like you're asking a question but not? Well, it all comes down to inflection. So when you're selling anything over the phone, your inflection can indicate all sorts of things that show confidence, conclusion, or a question. For example, right there. So you notice how my voice goes up? That implies that I'm asking a question. Why does that matter? Because that's asking the client to respond. And if the client responds too soon and says, yeah, it's me, I'm not interested, bye, before you can even spit out what you're supposed to say, you're going to lose opportunities. You can also say things in a confident tone that shows that you know what you're talking about. So you notice how my tone starts here and eventually goes down. That shows that I'm confident. That shows that I know what I'm talking about. Okay, that kind of inflection down. So, and then sometimes we can talk like this and it's more neutral in tone and it shows that we're not done speaking yet. So there's yet. So that even in my explanation can indicate that it's their turn to talk. So think about the moral story. Think about how you're saying things and with what type of inflection. You may be causing the prospect to jump in too soon if you have this problem keeping people on the phone because you're asking questions a little too early. Could be.
The Dig Agency. I'm calling you back with the final expense price quote you requested on Facebook. I see your zip code is that correct?
Now, the rest of this sounds great. Nice tone, warm, sounds really good, can be heard clearly, all the things I like to hear. Now we get into the line of questioning that is kind of just to the point, facilitating the conversation. We're going to ask things like, is this for yourself or a loved one? How long you've been looking. These are just easy ways to get a conversation going before we start talking about what the options are for coverage.
That's correct.
Okay. And is this for yourself or for a loved one?
It's for myself.
Okay, good. And how long have you been looking?
I've actually talked with at least a dozen different people.
Okay. All right. So what's kept you from putting something in place?
So great question to ask, because if you've talked to 12 agents voluntarily, either something's wrong with you because you like talking to salespeople. Maybe you're just like me. I like talking to salespeople. Or you're a world-class procrastinator and you're hung up on something, probably the price. And so this is a great question to ask early on because it helps you identify like why they're so much of a tire kicker, and you can use that as leverage if they give you hesitancy at the end of the call when you attempt to close them.
The terms and the price.
Okay. Terms. I'm going to write that down really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a real quick quote, if that's okay.
So here's a quote. We're going to give you the quote, the final expense quote you requested. We say this a lot in the beginning. We're at 47 seconds in because that's really what they asked for. That's what they wanted. That's what they requested, and the lead forms that we use. And so we use that as a trigger word to refocus their attention and get compliance and tacit agreement that we can continue the sales presentation. So that's an extremely effective tool. Some people think, well, I can't talk about the quote or say anything regarding a quote till the end. But the truth is everybody knows that they're in a sales presentation. They want to know that they're going to get what they ask for. By saying final expense quote early on, it gets their attention and allows you to proceed a little more smoothly.
Sure.
And I will try to keep the fact that you're price sensitive in mind. What do you mean when you say the terms, though? What does that mean?
Well, like some of them have a 2-year wait because I have, I'm in a wheelchair.
Okay.
I have a degenerative joint disease.
Oh my goodness.
And so, there's a 2-year wait and things such as that, mostly the 2-year wait, which is the terms.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's important to understand is just because that was an objection before doesn't make it an objection now. Or better stated, it doesn't mean you can't overcome that objection. It could be that the agents just suck. Most of them don't get the kind of training that we do at the Dig Agency, which is deliberate, painstaking, but highly effective. And most people don't even know how to deal with it. Sometimes you have to rephrase the concept of a 2-year wait. Sometimes we like to say, hey, look, yeah, you got to wait 2 years, but let's face it, you talk to all these agents. This is the best you're going to get. The cool thing with this, it's the best price. You get the senior concierge program, whatever. There's some kind of perk or benefit or reason why that despite the things you don't like, at least you can get something that's added value, right? So be prepared for that when you're dealing with this, because you will have this happen. A lot of times it's just too expensive or it's a term, but maybe she'll accept it if the price is better, right? So all of this is to say, don't let the objection she had in the past deter your ability to sell today.
And that feels disagreeable to you?
Well, yeah, it really does, because it's like a penalty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even if during that time, even if I were killed in an accident, it wouldn't be covered.
Well, that shouldn't be true. Most of those 2-year wait companies, an accident is fully covered from day one. So somebody may have misinterpreted that or misled you on that, not purposely, but just because they didn't know. But accidents are always fully covered. But let me ask you a question.
So one thing you want to say, if you're going to say that, is I don't know about the other guys, but with us, I say that, now I'm kind of hesitant. I don't want to start selling my product too soon. I might be able to get them level. Who knows who she's talked with. So I would say, okay, so you've run into 2-year waiting period products and you don't like that. That's what you're saying, right? Okay, cool. Then let's proceed back on the script. So don't get too far along in a value prop right now before you even know if they qualify, because we haven't asked any health questions. Yeah, we know they're in a wheelchair, but there possibly are options available. So again, go through the script. Don't get dislodged from the script, because if you come off that script and go into la-la land, you're likely to lose the sale.
Need any help with the activities of daily living, like, taking a bath, going to the bathroom, getting dressed? Do you do all that yourself?
Well, I can manage it by myself, yes.
Okay. All right. Do you have home health care?
I do.
Okay.
I don't,
Yeah, pretty good at, I think she's been down this road before. Oh, I can manage it myself doesn't mean you don't have help. You don't need help with activities of daily living. So the agent did good qualifying that further. Again, we don't want to submit an app to think that we're going to get approved and then it ends up getting knocked back because we missed asking a question. So kudos to the agent on going a layer deeper.
I don't need it they just come, like sometimes I have therapy to try and lessen the trauma on my muscles and such.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So, I don't know what that means. Do they help you with washing your hair? Do they help you do house chores? Do they help you in the bathroom at all? You got to get specific, because some people will just basically not quite answer it. She's saying they do physical therapy, but home health care doesn't do physical therapy unless they're a PT or PT assistant. So, doesn't sound right. Again, why should you care? Because you don't want to waste your time submitting an app for level coverage just to get knocked down to graded or modified or declined. So you got to push back on the stuff and get clarity always.
Right. So they come like once a week or twice a week, something like that?
It's usually more like once a month.
Once a month. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to get you a real quick by the way, we are on a recorded line, and I appreciate you telling me all that stuff and being honest with me about your health conditions. My name is in case you missed it. Can I have your permission to send you my business card right now?
Certainly. And
Okay.
just a second, I dropped my pen.
Oh, don't drop your pen. Okay. Star.
Got it.
So we like to send the business card, either a digital business card that just has our face and contact info, or to use crankshaft. Is it crankshaft? No, crank wheel, whatever it's called. Somebody will correct me in the chat. That is a one-way video app that shows you live. You can wave at them, talk to them so they know you're a real person, not a scammer, without having them to fool around with their phone to figure out how to show themselves. Keeps their privacy, but it accomplishes the goal to show that you're a real person. So we've had really good success with that as well.
All right. So I look at about 30 different insurance companies. I'm trying to get you qualified for the best plan with the highest possible value.
So the idea behind here is a unique selling proposition. What that means is that we're trying to position ourselves as an expert while differentiating how we operate and how it compares to others. So the implication here, which we should clarify, Stephen may do it still, is that we shop around to find the best combination of price or coverage. Actually, I think I already said that. So the idea, though, is to tell the client, hey, we're different than probably what you dealt with. Our job is to work hard to work for you.
And I think I really need to kind of point one thing out to you, and that's this. When it comes to the 2-year reduced premium period, or when the payout's a little lower for the first 2 years, really the important thing is to get it over with. Get that 2 years behind you. You know, and look, I know it doesn't feel good and it feels like being penalized, but it's really the opposite. What the insurance company is trying to do is find a way where you can get coverage and they don't have to raise the price through the roof. That's what they're really trying to do. Does that make sense?
Excellent explanation. So this is, I'm not sure if it's in our current script, but this is definitely something that's good because it addresses the elephant in the room. You know you're going to have to face this when you explain the product to the client. You don't want to lie to them. So you might as well just address it for what it is. It's 2-year wait. You look at it like a penalty, but it's really a blessing because A, once that you're through it, you won't have anything to worry about. And B, the longer you wait, the less likely anything will pay because you have to wait anyway in your condition. So the real way to look at this is how soon can you get this started to get through the 2-year period? And if you were to die, they give you your money back plus interest. So it's not like you're going to lose anything. Anyway, that's kind of the thought and logic process that I would use. Stephen did a great job here in order to position this in a different way of thinking than what the client's reaction is.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Now, what's your date of birth?
Now, isn't that interesting? We're 5 minutes in. 5 minutes in. And the client's saying, yeah, that makes sense. When she, from the beginning, said, my biggest problem is nobody will take me to make me wait 2 years. That's the power of repositioning problems and thinking of them in a positive light. Good salespeople know how to spin things to show the silver linings.
I just spoke with a lady 5 minutes ago who had her birthday was the 25th of December.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, what a ripoff, huh? She get no birthday party. Everybody's celebrating Christmas.
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Now, Star.
It's different. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, everybody I work with is on a fixed income. So the goal is to find something that you qualify for, but also that you can afford. So, and you did mention price to me a few minutes ago. So, you know, the programs are kind of sorted into price ranges. So I need you to tell me what range to start shopping in that you could afford. And I'm guessing you don't want this crazy policy here that's $200 a month. So let's skip that one.
No, what was that one anyway?
Yeah, it was just a big policy. So what's a good range for you?
I was thinking 25,000, 25 to 30,000. That way it'll cover, you know, burial.
Yeah.
So sometimes the client goes and talks about the face amounts when what we really want is not the amount of coverage, it's the premium, the monthly rate, what's comfortable for them. So hopefully Stephen will say, hey, that sounds great, but here's the thing. You said price was a problem, so there's obviously a high end that you don't want to pay, and I don't want you to. So if we forget about the coverage amount for a minute, like just think about the budget. Let's say you can get what you want. How much a month are you comfortable paying as long as you get what you want? So you want to make sure you get that premium because it overcomes the price objection, and then also gives you the opportunity to sell them on a lesser amount, which probably ultimately going to have to do unless this lady's like 30 in a wheelchair and there's a cheap whole life plan, which does not sound like the case.
And leave a little bit for my grandchildren.
That should leave quite a bit. What I'm really trying to get at is what's a price that you can afford. That's what I'm really trying to get at.
Well, 150-ish.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting, isn't it? You know, she was put off by the 250 number, but the 150-ish, I mean, maybe not full confidence, but it came from her. Probably 125 to 150 would work. And that might be good for some kind of 2-year waiting plan. May not get 25,000, may get 15 or 20, which they'll say, yeah, okay. Many times it's enough to do the job. Again, that goes back to figuring out what they want to accomplish, which we'll get to later. So interestingly enough, see, you can never judge a client. I immediately thought, oh, 250, she's already balking at that. And she says 150-ish should work. That's why you guys follow the script. Follow the script, and the script will take care of itself. It's amazing.
We'll look around in that neighborhood and see if we can find something.
I have 9 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren.
Oh, my goodness. You're a little ahead of me. All I've got is 3 grands. I don't have any greats yet. My oldest grand is only 5 years old, so I got a ways to go.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. My oldest grand is 29.
Okay. 29. All right.
Yep.
So, do you know the difference between term insurance and whole life insurance?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now in this section, we explain the differences in options. And even when they say, yes, I do, you just explain it very simply. And you say something like, great. So you know that term terminates and goes up in price, and that whole life lasts your whole life, and the rates never change. Well, what this is whole life insurance. That's the best plan for burial expenses because you can never outlive it, like what would happen if you had a term plan. Does that make sense? So keep the explanation simple, but certainly still explain it. I've heard many a times when somebody says, yeah, I don't want that. Term's the best. That's the kind that lasts forever, right? Like they'll get them messed up. So never presume, even though they say, yes, I understand it, that they actually do understand it.
So what we're talking about today is whole life. Okay, so what that means is that the price never goes up. It is what it is for the rest of your life. It means that they can't cancel your policy. Now, you can cancel it. You can always cancel it. But they can never cancel it. Okay? And because you're on a wheelchair, you are qualified for what we call guaranteed issue insurance. And that means that if you were to pass away in the first 2 years of natural causes, your family would get back everything you paid in plus 10% savings, 10% interest, okay? And like I explained before, it really is a gift from God that you can even get that policy with the illness that you got. It's like the best savings plan there is. And the insurance company's trying to protect you with that 2-year wait. And
So again, good salespeople know how to pitch something that may initially yield a negative response. 2-year waiting periods do. Although we may overthink it that they do. Some people are very happy to get something. But for those people that push back against it, you have to help them change their perspective. Where, hey, a 2-year waiting period is great. At least I have something. Because the other option would be you wouldn't get nothing. And we know the outcome of that. It's not good.
And I know it might not seem that way at first, but if they didn't add that, they'd have to raise the price way up through the roof.
Yeah,
I do understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's great. It's great. What you think is a problem isn't. Goes to show you.
That's just kind of how it has to be. But you are completely covered for accidents from the very first day. So you mentioned to me that you had a pen a minute ago, so I know you're writing things down.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to get my machine to give me a few quotes right now, and then we will see if we can find something that's agreeable to you.
Okay.
Okay. Give me a second to get it cooked up here.
Sure.
And while I'm doing this, Could you kind of explain to me what are your thoughts and concerns that cause you to want to get this coverage?
So at this point, right before we present the price, we like to get to the reason why, so that the motivation is in the mind of the client at the time they get the price. What we used to do, if you watch my old training, we used to ask that early. The problem is so much time passed between that point and the end that arguably there was a loss of comprehension. And so we shifted the reason why to the end. And what we found is it helps us close better because the motivation is front and center in their mind. So we asked this while we're quoting and finding a price range that the client said to look at. And it gets that person dialed in again, refocused on what really matters, peace of mind for loved ones typically.
Oh, well, first of all, I don't even have a place to be buried, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not exactly young. I'm not old, but I'm not young either. So, I'm on the other side. Let's put it that way. The other side of youth.
Yeah. You're 66, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
I'll be 67 in September.
Okay. And so if you did not get a policy, who gets stuck with those bills?
I have two children, two natural children.
Okay. Is there one child that's kind of in charge?
My son.
Okay. What's your son's first name?
Arthur.
Arthur. That's a great name. I almost named my son Arthur.
Well, he's not happy about it. I named him after my uncle.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. He's not happy about it.
No, he goes by Skip. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if I was him, I'd be pleased with Arthur. Arthur's a pretty cool name. So here's my question, Star. If you don't get a policy, how on earth would Arthur even pay those bills? So
excellent line of questioning here. Getting it's the concept of we have to help the client envision the hearse is backed up against the front porch, right? When they can see the hearse backed up against the front porch, death is on their doorstep. And what that would be like, it gets them in a position of realization, like they got to take care of this because they don't want a loved one to handle this. So that's why we ask this question. Is what if you don't do anything? How are they going to handle it? Would you want them to handle it? Is it moral for them to handle it? Is essentially what we're asking them.
I have no idea because he has 5 children.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got big responsibilities, right? You think he might have to take a loan?
Oh, most definitely he would.
Yeah, so here we are. Let's go through all the pain that they have to do, the suffering they have to do. And then here's the price. Here, let's wash it away for the low monthly price of something that's in your budget, right? So this is why we do it this way.
Because his sister isn't going to be real helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's probably got kids playing sports and dance and all the other stuff, right?
Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah.
He has one on the swim team. He has 4 girls and a boy.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. He's got his hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. I think I understand. So if I could kind of summarize things, you don't want him to struggle or take something from the kids in order to pay your final expenses.
So this is great because this is a summary statement. So what I'm hearing here, Mrs. Prospect, is you don't want to leave a burden to him. He's got too much to handle, and that would be bad. So again, it just gets them in agreement that the last thing she wants to do is not buy a policy. Very good at just, again, helping her make that decision today to buy. Because guess what? Our clients are world-class procrastinators. Didn't she say she talked to like a dozen agents to start with? I mean, look up world-class procrastinator book. There's this nice lady.
You'd like to have a whole life plan where the price never goes up. And you'd like to keep it under $150 a month. Did I get everything right?
Yeah, well, 150-ish. I say $10 either way, up or down.
Okay.
And also, I have a fiance. So if we're married, all I have to do is call you and you can change the beneficiary?
Yeah. Well, yeah. All you have to do is call me, and I'll have to. I actually need a wet signature to do that, so I'll mail you the form, and you just mail it. You sign it and mail it right back to me, and I'll submit it to the insurance company. It's pretty.
Okay,
easy.
that would be great. Yeah.
Okay. Well, congrats.
Yeah, best thing to do, say, oh yeah, no problem. Keep it simple. You don't have to explain the whole process. Oh, absolutely. We do it every day, Mrs. Prospect. That's not a problem. Be confident. Don't get too down in the weeds. This wasn't a big deal, but sometimes we can over-explain things. That's a problem a lot of us salespeople have, me included. Just say, yeah, not a problem. And with it, it's the confidence that speaks more than the explanation. It took me many years to understand and realize.
Congratulations on the upcoming wedding.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're quite welcome. And he sounds like a lucky man.
Well, I think so. I think I'm pretty lucky myself.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. My wife and I will make in 2 months, on September the 3rd, we'll make 31 years. And now, Star, we only dated for about a month before we got married. We knew each other a month and got married, and that was 31 years ago. So we did pretty good, I think.
Yes, indeed.
She's super lucky too.
I understand.
Yes, ma'am. She's so lucky. I tell her every day. All right. So I've got the price for you now. So keep in mind, any of the pricing options is okay to choose, and you don't have to choose any of them. We can go higher or lower from any of this. But I want to be real careful with your budget, and I want you to get Arthur protected because he's got his hands full. So the first quote is
excellent use of the beneficiary and the explanation of the policy. We Arthur's hands are full. Instead of saying your beneficiary, we're personalizing it. Again, that helps connect better with the reason to buy today.
It's going to be $15,000. Will you write that down, please?
Believe me, I have.
Okay. All right. So this one's a little high. It's a little outside your budget. All right, but okay. I want you to know that we can go this high. At your age, we can still get over 10,000. So this one's $172.51.
Okay.
All right. That's the company I'm choosing for you because they'll accept you. They'll approve you. That's the bottom line. That's why I chose this insurance company. They're great. They were I think they've been in business since the 60s, and they do a really good job. So that's the insurance company. Now
and they pay rapidly?
Oh, yeah, they do.
Okay.
Now, your next option, and this one I might recommend for you. It's within your budget. It's $12,500. I think this will handle your final expenses, and there may be a few dollars left over for Arthur to make decisions with for any miscellaneous bills that come up. Okay.
Now, do you think that this would, if I were to move to California, do you think this would cover it? A burial there?
It would be tight. It would be tight in California. It would easily cover it in North Carolina. And California, what I see with my clients is, $15,000 and up is what they usually ask for. I don't think that's necessary in North Carolina, and I probably wouldn't recommend that you do that. And here's why. If you might not move to California, and if you do, you can just call me back and we'll get a little policy on top of it. But save the money while you can.
That's a good point, right? For us, the way we teach at the Dig Agency, it's the policy that stays is the policy that pays. In other words, you want to have a policy that the client can easily afford. And given there's an option that's out of the budget of the client versus well within it, I would rather them always get the one that's well within it. I want them to conceivably forget about the plan and always make sure it's paid, then think about it every month and then just talk themselves out of it because it's just too expensive. And the truth is, even in California or a higher income requirement state, that's going to pay it. It's not going to be an elaborate funeral. It's not going to be some big pomp and circumstance. You can make it work for that. And then parts of California are going to be more like, a San Francisco burial is different from a Modesto burial, right? So it's going to depend on what part of California you're in. But I would say, yeah, you should do the 12-5. I think that would be fine. But if you really were convinced, we can always add more. Great play, great setup by Stephen. Perfect.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what I would recommend. And finally, and look, this is probably what I would recommend you do is about 12-5. But let's look at 10,000 because it is a little bit more affordable. Okay.
Wait, you didn't tell me how much the 12-5 was.
Oh, it's $143.76.
Okay, and who is that with?
That is that I'm recommending for you.
Okay, so now we're looking at what, 10?
Yes, ma'am. 10,000 would be 115. And that's better than nothing. I think it will get you pretty far down the road. It'll get Arthur pretty far down the road. And at the end of the day, I think that's what's important is let's make sure Arthur's protected. Well, there's two things that are important. Protecting Arthur because he's got 5 kids, and he doesn't need to be paying your final expenses. And the second thing is you are on that 2-year reduced benefit period.
Yeah.
And so get it over with. Get that 2 years behind us. So we've got all 3 options here. You don't have to choose any of them, but from this point, all you have to do is get approved, and that's super easy. It's very safe.
Now, what we like doing, of course, is getting the approval done, selling the approval. It's less about which one to choose at the moment, but getting you into the application, getting the process done. And of course, we circle around and say, which one do you want to try to get an approval for? Which is a tacit way to ask, which one do you want to, can you afford?
Takes about 10 minutes. Which of these 3 would you like for me to get you approved for?
The 12-5.
The 12-5. Okay. 12-5 it is. I think that's the wise decision. I really.
Good. Excellent. And then at the end, when they say yes, what do? You just simply pivot and tell them they made a good, smart decision. So let's wrap this up. What did we learn today on today's call? First of all, notice Stephen's tonality. It's very good. A little more upbeat than some of the other agents, but not silly. He's warm, he's friendly, and he exudes trust. Again, much of what we say goes unspoken in the typical sense of the words we think we have to use to get trust. Sometimes it's just how we hold ourselves and how we communicate. Stephen does a great job of that. Stephen's explanations and overcoming objections was kind of a surprising benefit to listen to. How he rephrased what she objected to a number of times and got the sale, the verbal commitment, is amazing. And so it goes to show you the takeaway there is don't think you're coming into a call and come up with preconceived reasons why it's not going to work. You don't know nothing. Maybe they've just succumbed to the fact that they've got to have a 2-year wait. And you're just the person that has to phrase it in the right light so they can agree to it and then buy. So always come in fresh. And last but not least, follow the script. Our script, that's what we teach our agents. It works. The more off the script you get, the worse it gets. And you don't do nearly as well. So thank you so much for watching. And before you go, make sure you check out my agency. If you are a struggling agent and you want to join a great agency that will train you and provide you great leads, or if you're thinking about selling insurance and looking for the perfect place to start, my company, The Dig Agency, is a perfect fit. Why? Because we provide you free leads that cost nothing to you, amazing AI-backed sales and marketing training to help you to become the best final expense telesales agent that you could come. And of course, all of this is done remotely at home, part-time or full-time is totally acceptable. And in order to learn more, simply click the link below or go to daviddeford.com in order to learn more about how our company works and how you can continue to move forward. Thank you so much for watching.